Welcome everybody to the Chapter 9 Interactive Study Guide. Here we're going to go over a few things from lessons 9.1 through 9.5. 9 children were nominated to be the class president. The following numbers represent the number of votes each candidate received. And there's our data. Show your work and find the following. We need to find the mean, which is the average, the median, the exact middle number where half the values are below it, half the values are greater than it. The mode, welcome the modes, the number that occurs the most often. And the range, how spread out the data is, your maximum minus your minimum. And then that'll lead us into the IQR, which shows us a measure of variation, how spread out the middle 50% is. So let's go ahead and get started. The very first thing you ever want to do when you have data is put it in order from least to greatest. So I have a 1, 3, 3, 3, 3 threes, 1, 2, 3. Skip the 2, so let me go back and add in that 2 right there. That's why it's important to go in order and check your work. 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 5, 6, 6, 7. Now let me count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 3, 6, 9. 9 numbers. If you don't have the same number of data values as you should, there's no way to get the answer correct. So just double check that. It only takes a few seconds. And you can go in any order you want. So I'm going to start with the obvious things, the easiest things. I'm going to start with mode. Mode, you can use your eyes and your brain and see that there's 3 threes, and that's more than any other numbers. The mode of the data set is 3. Range is going to be our maximum, 7, minus our minimum of 1. 7 minus 1 equals 6. I'm going to go to median next. Median is a middle number, so since I have 9 numbers, I know I'm looking for the 5th one in, which is going to be right here. That means I have 4 to the left, 4 to the right. You can do the minimum, maximum, next minimum, maximum, minimum, maximum, minimum, maximum, and you're left with that single number in the middle. If you are ever left with 2 numbers in the middle, because you have an even number of data in your set, you simply add the 2 together and divide by 2. You're finding the average of the 2. Or you can use your logical number sense, and if you know what's between 2 simple numbers, you can just pull it out right away. So the median here is 3. The average, the mean, you need to add them all up. So let's go ahead and do that. 7 plus 6 is 13, 19, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36. So the sum is 36. Divide by 9 numbers, we get an average mean of 4. So the mean is 4, the median is 3, the mode is 3, the range is 6, your minimum is 1, your maximum was 7. Just throwing those 2 terms in there as well, which will bring us now to the interquartile range, IQR. To find IQR, you start with the median, and then we look at the lower half of the data. These are all the data points to the left side of the median. So we're looking here, 1, 2, 3, 3, and we want to find the median of this lower half. So minimum, maximum, we're left with 2 numbers, a 2 and a 3. Halfway between them, 2.5. That is our first quartile, where 25% of the data is found up to the first quartile. So Q1 we call it. We're going to do the same thing in the upper half. And we're going to have the minimum, maximum, and then we're left with these 2 in the middle, 6 and 6, and of course right between 6 and 6 would be 6, a different one. And that's our third quartile, Q3. And all IQR is, the formula, Q3 minus Q1. The spread of the data from your first quartile up to the third quartile. The middle 50%, the most important parts of data. And you have 6 minus 2.5, which leaves you with 3.5. So the IQR for this example is 3.5. MAD, mean absolute deviation. How far away every data point is on average compared to the actual average. How far they deviate. 3 steps. First step, find the mean of the data. You have to know what the average is. Find the mean of the data. Second step, calculate the distance, which is in absolute value form, because you can't have a negative distance, from each data point to the actual mean. And the third step, calculate the average of those distances. So add up those distances, divide by however many you added together. The result, the answer, is your MAD, your mean absolute deviation. Let's go ahead and look at this. MAD is also another form, it's a measure of variation. how spread out your data is. MAD versus IQR, very similar yet different. IQR is all about the median, and we're only dealing with the middle 50%, so outliers do not relatively have an effect on the IQR. MAD uses every single data point in your data set. So if you have an outlier, it will affect the MAD final score, the MAD result. It says the mean deviation, and here's a set of data. First step, we need to find the mean. Well, if you add up all those numbers, you end up getting 72. Once you know 72 is your sum, you can divide by the number of numbers you added. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So divide by 8, we have an average of 9. 9 is the actual mean. So what we want to do now is figure out how far away is each data point from 9, the actual true mean. So if you're at a 3, you are actually 6 away. 3 away, 3 away, 2, 1. Even though you're above the mean, you're still 2 away. This one would be 6 away, and this data point is 7 away from the actual mean. So these are simply the distances away from the actual true mean of the data set. So what do we want to do now? So we want to find the average of these. To do that, let's add them all up. 6 and 3 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. 14, 15, 17, 23, 30. 30 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 30 divided by 8. It's going to go into it 3 times. 24. Subtract, you get 6. Decimal, decimal, 0. Bring it on down. 8 goes into 60. 7 times. 56. 4. 1 more 0. Bring it on down. 40. 8 goes into 40. 5 times. So 3.75. This is your MAD score, your mean absolute deviation, which tells you that on average, any data point you would randomly pull out would be approximately within 3.75 value segments away, whether it's above it or below it. So this data set is 3.75 with the MAD score. Right now, in isolation, doesn't make too much sense, but if you're comparing it to another data set that has a MAD score, let's just say a 42.6, you know this one is much closer together, clustered up. The data is really close, not so much spread. This one, you would have tons of variation. Your data is all over the place. It's really stretched out and spread out. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Well, it all depends on your context. Depends on what you're trying to figure out and what you're looking at. But that's how you compare data sets to one another. It's how spread out. Since MAD is a measure of variation, you're looking at how spread out the data is. I hope this helps. You're on your test coming up. Everything in Chapter 9, whether questions are statistical questions, simply finding the mean, median, mode, range of a data set, IQR of a data set, and MAD. And that is what's going to be covered on the Chapter 9 test. Study, get ready, 100% like always.